Hi everybody, this is Scott with the Movie Reviewers 100. Since I live in Chicago, I wanted to introduce you to some of the stars of Transformers Dark of the Moon. These guys! There's a shot in the movie where there's a Transformer doing something, and it's a big close-up, but you can see these guys' heads rising just above his. This is the downtown area, where this is Wacker here, where a lot of the action takes place. There's guys running up and down these steps right here, guys dealing with the Trump Tower here. Patrick Dempsey's character lives at in one of the penthouses in this building. Some action takes place there. There's stuff that takes place down over there. You see there's a shot of Bumblebee where you can see that building right there with the spire and the clock above him. And here you've got, there's stuff that takes place on these bridges right here. A lot of the Decepticons raise the bridges so the good guys can't get around, and then the Autobots and the good guys have to figure out a way to lower the bridges so they can move. One of the key locations is this building right here. This is where the Decepticons have sort of made their headquarters. Their sort of base of operations is here, and there's a lot of action involving the guys trying to take out one of the pieces of this building right here in order to stop the Decepticons from doing what it is they're doing. Of course, Trump Tower is directly across from there, as you can see, and then they have that building that collapses. You can't really see it from here. The building that topples over with a lot of the good guys inside is down at the end of the street right here. So they fudged the geography a little bit because it's supposed to be like right across from this thing right here. Anyway, so yeah, this is Chicago, of course, and this got a lot of good close-ups in the Dark Knight, but even more so here, especially during the last part of the movie. There's actually a number of locations that take place that are shot in Chicago throughout the movie, but they're supposed to take place in Washington D.C. or whatever, not actually in Chicago, so it just kind of depends. But there was actually one location that I recognized from the Dark Knight. The bank robbery that takes place in the very beginning of the movie, they use that same location again. They use the exterior and the interior. So what did I think of the movie? Well, I gotta say that as far as action goes, this is probably one of Michael Bay's, some of Michael Bay's best work. The sequence with the collapsing building is pretty exciting. And there's some good, just destruction and what have you. But it's far from the best movie that he could have made. And I have to agree with my pal Dino, who does reviews on this channel, but he did a review on the on his personal channel, and he says this movie could have been an hour shorter if they'd cut out all the slapstick. I guess it's the whole Judd Apatow thing, because since Judd Apatow became so successful, a lot of comedies just basically let the cameras roll and let people just sort of make up one-liners. And that seems to happen a lot in Transformers. It kind of reminds me of some of those older Robin Williams comedies when they would just let him go through a bunch of different characters and just riff on stuff. And I would like to remind all those people that The Social Network's a very funny movie, and the actors stuck to the script 100% of the time on that one. Yeah, a lot of stupid gags. Just a lot of people acting like idiots. I must reflect his opinion that all that stuff could have been greatly reduced. And it would have been a lot more interesting and effective a movie if they just kind of stuck with keeping the serious thriller aspects of it rather than having all this goofy comedy. The Island is still, I feel, his best film. I just thought I'd take a little walk around here, show you a little bit more of the city. I have some basic problems with the movie. A lot of people, of course, complain about comic book movies and the way that they'll change character traits and what have you. And I don't normally have a problem with this since I'm not that much of a comic book fan. But I have to say, when they turn Soundwave into a car, when they make him a car instead of a tape player like the original character is, that annoys me somewhat. But then I sort of have to remember, what it is that I'm dealing with here, which is an adaptation. Some of the other stuff that bothers me is just basically stuff that doesn't make sense, like how the Transformers can instantly make themselves over into any vehicle and then change into that vehicle. I would think that the robots would have to be rebuilt in order to take on a new form, and they don't have to do that. They just scan a car or a plane or whatever it is, and then they can just turn into that automatically. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Sentinel Prime is a character that's voiced by Leonard Nimoy, of course, and he turns into a fire truck. I'm not really sure why. It's not a, I mean, you know, obviously firefighters are very heroic, but I don't know, the vehicle, fire truck, doesn't seem all that intimidating when it comes to fighting people, so there you have it. This movie is very, very long. I really had to go to the bathroom during like the last half hour. It could have been a lot shorter. But yeah, as far as action goes, it won't leave you disappointed. And I read that the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie is like the top grossing movie of the year right now, and is like number 10 on the all-time worldwide grossers or something like that. And this movie is just going to beat the stuffing out of Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a lot more exciting. As far as the actors go, Shia LaBeouf, he's fine as usual. Some people are annoyed by him. I'm not, but I think it's more the situation rather than the actor. The new girl, she's fine. There's a scene in which she is telling Frances McDormand about Shia LaBeouf, singing his praises, but for some reason she's looking at Frances McDormand's desk, I think. But she's not terrible. John Turturro has annoyed me in the past couple movies, but I actually have grown to like him more, and he actually has the best moment in the whole movie. The very, very last thing that happens in the movie involves him, and I thought that was quite fun. See what else? There's too many speeches in this movie. It's all kind of, about patriotism or heroism or valuing family or something like that. That's just a whole bunch of bull. I don't think Michael Bay cares about any of that stuff. He's just trying to get to the action, which is what he's best at, if you could call it best. I've been annoyed by a lot of his action sequences and just his style in general. So I can't say I really recommend this movie. Not what I would call a good movie. And I didn't see it in 3D. I just saw it in 2D. So I can't comment on the 3D. But I'm just not really interested in that anymore. As a viewing experience, just not really my thing. What else? Like I said, there are a lot of people are complaining about how complicated the story is. I'm like, the movie could be shorter if they cut out the comedy, but I wouldn't uncomplicate the storyline, because frankly, I'd like an overly complicated storyline versus an overly simplistic storyline. I want my brain engaged. I know there's going to be a lot of stupidity and there's going to be a lot of stuff blowing up. I want to be able to be, sort of take a second to kind of figure out what's going on, just to sort of occupy my brain, I guess. And so, I don't mind that there's a lot of stuff going on. The plot involves the Decepticons trying to get a device, a new form of Autobot technology from whence it crashed on the moon many thousands of years ago, around the time that the monolith from 2001 was buried on the moon, I guess. But one thing that kind of bothered me was the fact that all the other Decepticons and their weapons and their ships and what have you are buried on the moon along with it. Why are they there? That doesn't make any sense. The ship that originally crashed there, the ship with Sentinel Prime, crashed there accidentally. So why would all these other Decepticons would be buried there, sitting around doing nothing, waiting for the signal to come from Earth? It doesn't make any sense. I was a little disappointed that I didn't get to see what Shockwave turned into. Shockwave's been redesigned, and that drill thing, that big snake drill thing, that's like his ride. It isn't part of him. He doesn't turn into that. He uses it like a weapon, but we never get to see what he turned into. So I was a little disappointed by that. There was stuff that I found entertaining about it. A lot of it was exciting, and people actually clapped and cheered during a few key moments. So I'm glad that people enjoyed it, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this. Somewhat silly and stupid and action, and certainly action-packed movie. I'm telling you, Chicago takes a beating even before the big showdown at the end. Once the Decepticons arrive in Chicago, they just start shooting the place up. They just start blowing up buildings and cars and shooting down people. There's a scene where a woman gets shot by Decepticons. She basically evaporates, and her skull is left to roll around in the street. That's pretty harsh. I rambled on long enough, so there's my little review of Transformers. Not recommending it unless you really want, to just watch some hardcore action. In that case, go for it. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.